Thank you for tuning in to the Miss Blue Radio Show. I have my co-host Cali Girl in the building tonight with me, talking with our ear to the streets because y'all know how we do it.
Yes.
Okay, so Cali, how are you doing? First off,
I'm doing a lot more better compared to last week. Trying to get everything back to normal, and I'll be starting work in the next couple weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that and getting my COVID shot. Finally, I got approved through my doctor and get that ball rolling now.
Okay, cool. You know to keep me posted.
Oh, you know I do.
Yes, keep me posted and all that good stuff. So tonight, if you're not familiar with the show, we basically talk about things that interest us and things that you might not have heard. And we also bring awareness to, different topics, again, that you probably haven't heard. Mm-hmm. So, Callie, today my day was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I went with my friend and photographer, Barry Media, but he goes by Ish. That's his real name. Okay. And so I was just being an assistant, just basically helping him today for a photo shoot. And we went to downtown graffiti wall. It's very popular out here in Houston. Mm-hmm. And I'm just minding my own business, and I see someone that I haven't seen in years. Mm-hmm. And he did media when I wasn't even thinking about doing like a radio podcast show. And I was always inspired by him. Shout out to JB. And so he comes walking in, and I'm like, "Hey, JB," and he's like, "Me? You know me? Is that a good thing?" I said, "It was very good." I said, "You're a really nice person. You still doing media?" He was like, "I'm actually looking for the George Floyd mural," and I said, "Well, it's over there by Selena." Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Let's go. Come with me." And lo and behold, when I walked over there, I did not expect that. They had
I saw that.
Yeah, they had, sprayed it with some, derogatory words. And it was a lot of police officers there. My first time seeing the new chief of police, Chief Skinner, that was so cool. And a lot of activists were there that I exchanged information with. So it was really messed up. And this is days after Derek Chauvin, or however you say his last name, was convicted of, for killing George Floyd. So this is what we're dealing with. And we don't know if they're from Houston, but we do know one thing, that they're hateful.
It's unfortunate. There's a lot of hateful people out there during this time. And you at least think that people wouldn't want to keep moving forward and not backwards. Because that's what is really preventing the United States from moving forward, is that people are about hate, and it needs to stop. It really does, and like even when I posted something about how he was found guilty, I had several people, which I will not name, message me with angry faces, and I was like, hey, I don't know what you guys think or feel, but what he did was wrong. Okay. That was over excessive force. He took a man's life, which, he shouldn't have. It's not his place to do it. Right. No matter what his past was, because that's what you go to court, judgment by your peers, and let the courts handle it. And however, but for one person to decide that is wrong. And if you guys hate on me, you guys go ahead, because, I really don't care, because I have so much love for everybody around me. If you're going to bring negativity, then I just don't need any negativity in my life, like straight up.
Yeah, that's no time for it. No, I totally agree. I think it's sad because, you don't choose your race. You don't choose your skin tone. You don't choose the texture of hair that you have. So when you say that you hate me and you don't know me personally, I've never done anything to you, then you're hating God's creation. So your issue is with the maker, the man who made me. Mm-hmm. And I think when you realize that, you're dealing with people that are really just sick and twisted out there, knowing, if I could do it all over again, I would still be the same woman, same skin tone, same hair, everything, because I love who I am, and it's just sad for anybody to be discriminated against just because of their race or, who they are. But Let me tell you something that I found out from one of the activists that were there.
What did they say?
You know, Texas is, you know, people do not like to tell the truth, but I'm gonna keep it real. Texas is very racist. I've dealt with it for years. It's certain parts that I still don't go to, and I'm a grown woman. Okay. They are very racist, and certain parts have that good old South mentality still from the slavery times. And so it's not surprising that a lot of our legislators and our government officials are racist as well. So they are in the process of trying to get a George Floyd bill passed that our governor, Greg Abbott, will not sign because basically he doesn't support George Floyd and what took place. He doesn't respect it. And it's sad. And so I'm going to do everything I can to go do a press conference with the activists that I met today, May 1st, to try to help fight to get this bill passed. Because I was there doing the protests and the marching out here, and I will, if I can help it, I will be out there for that too. How do you feel about that?
I think he's a real Chicken Little. And the reason why, and I hope you do hear this, young man, because you're not a man to me in my eyes. If you can't step up to know that there needs to be a change, then you're a part of the problem. Because you know, if this bill goes to an effect, it's going to affect you and your little buddies that are so comfortable that you're going to have to make changes through everything. And they're afraid of change. And that's just a crying shame. Because you know what? Let me tell you, there needs to be change in everything. I don't think it should just be in Texas. I think it should be the whole United States.
Absolutely.
That it should start changing by the way how people are trained, the way how the government should be, the way how, you know, all these people should not be. And if anything, nobody should be racist while holding office at all. I don't care. If you have a problem, then this is not the place for you, because you're supposed to fight for the people of that state. And you're going to have a bunch of mixed colored people, you know, and either you accept it or you don't. If you don't, then it's not your place. So honestly, he's a Chicken Little, and I'll straight up say it, you know, because, you know, if you don't want to sign the bill because you think it's going to affect you, then maybe you're the one that needs to change, and everybody around you does too. And I think it should go for everybody, not just there. But, you know, I really think that he needs to stand up and put your big boy pants on and just hang on for the ride, because you know what? It's going to change. And I hope everywhere in the United States change for the better.
Well, I hope one thing that the people, and not everyone out here in Texas is racist. Let me say that. But there is a large number of racist people out here, especially when you start to work in high profession jobs. I found that out firsthand myself. But I think it's so important, like one of the doctors and activists were saying up here at this press meeting, was that people need to start voting for officials. People think that voting stops after the president.
No.
You have to vote Congress.
Mm-hmm.
You have to vote Senate. You have to continue to keep voting. You even vote for cops.
Mm-hmm.
You vote for these people. So it's important especially for my Texans, if we don't like what's going on, to properly vote and continue and do what I'm doing and other people are doing when you see these bills are not being passed, to protest. And it's an ongoing fight. So you can introduce your next topic. I just had to,
I mean, it's you know, it's like, if everybody wants to change, then they got to make changes, not only with the departments, but higher up. And he said it has to do with voting, and people can't just say, okay, we're done voting for the president, it's over. It's never going to be over, no matter how people see it. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that will never, ever change.
Never.
Okay. So my topic I'm going to bring up, which I did bring up to you. I sent it to you. It has to do with, you know, I know everybody's got different opinions about this, but ever since you know about the fatal shooting about that 13-year-old Adam Toledo. Now that right there, it's a hit and or miss, you know, because what is he doing with the gun anyways?
Right.
You know, it was proven he had GSR on his hands, you know. And for those that don't know what that is, it's gunshot, you know, residue on the hand. That means he shot off the gun, you know, or it could be close. We don't know, you know, but if they found it on his hand, then that kind of, you know, puts the nail on there. But the way how this officer chased after him, and I guess it shows on the on his videotape that the boy throws his hands up and he shoots him. Now, you know, for being that the cop chased him, I know in the heat of the moment, you know, they said you always got to protect yourself and all that, and I get that. But, you know, maybe in that moment, the officer probably lost sight of that, and with the adrenaline was pumping. And when your adrenaline pumps, you just can't think. But, you know, what kills me is that he shot a 13-year-old and he died. He could have shot him in the leg and the arm. He didn't have to shoot him in the body part area to where it was going to be deadly, you know. But I'm hearing mixed multiple stories that, you know, the kid tossed it right before he threw his hands up, and they did actually find it right behind where he put his hands up, right behind the fence line. So it's like, you know, kids nowadays, like, it's like, it hurts me because we're seeing more worse out of the generation of teenagers now than before our time, you know. But I think it's a shame that this 13-year-old had to lose his life the way he did, you know. And I mean, it hurts me and it hurts the family, you know. It's like, but how did how do we know what really happened? Because the camera is all running around the body camera. It's hard to see. Yeah. It really is hard to see. So how would you know in that heat of the moment? You know, I'm hearing conflicting stories. Well, the officer didn't know he threw the gun, you know, and you know what, to me, it's like, you know, when you're chasing after somebody, try to disarm the person by shooting at least like the leg or something so he can get his hand off. But maybe the cop was scared to shoot. I don't know. It's mixed stories about this and emotions. So I don't think the child should have died. No, you know.
I don't think they.
It's just hard because we took the same kind of training.
I don't know.
In college, you know.
I think when we were growing up, right? You know, I don't remember having issues with cops. Matter of fact, I remember living in a predominantly white neighborhood. It was only 3 black families, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody was super nice to us. And the cop that patrolled the area, he was white. And we used to have him prank our parents. That's how cool this guy was.
That's cool.
Yeah, if the street lights came on and he saw us walking home, and he's like, "Your parents are gonna get you." I was like, "Can we get a ride?" And he'll drop us off. My dad will wave to him. So the generation of cops have changed, just like the people have changed. So back in the day, and I'm acting like I'm just old. I'm not, but when my parents were growing up, my parents were like in the 50s, like early 50s. Like my mom was like 50 something, right? Early 50s. Mm-hmm. So in that generation, everybody cared about each other. And then when you saw someone doing something wrong, you would say something, right? Yeah. The cops were not trying to kill you per se. They were trying to warn you. I just think the generation is like a lot more hateful, and maybe the parents are a lot younger, so they're not teaching their children how to respond to cops. And so you got these badasses that's like, "You're not my mama or my daddy," or "I might not even have a mama or daddy. You're not gonna talk to me like that." Mm-hmm. And so they're responding hatefully, and so are the cops. And then some of these cops are just a bad breed of cops, and they're just they're, you know, we're so that a long time ago we had too many cops that they were doing layoffs. Now we don't have a lot of cops in certain divisions that they should be. They are lacking. So they did this mass hiring, and pretty much anybody that had, I think it's 20 or 25 hours of being police courses that qualify you to the academy then to become a cop. Mm-hmm. So they just basically passing anybody along, saying you could be an officer, you could be a cop, you could be a cop, without doing thorough backgrounds on these people and finding out where their mental state of mind is. So they're trying to just kill. And I think some of them that's just racist, I don't think they're necessarily being told to kill black people. I think that's just what they want to do. Yeah. I just think they want to do that. Like, and they know that, you know, cops don't get in trouble. Even when they get locked up, they're not in a maximum facility with people like regular civilians. They sleep in a nice bed. They're watched by other police officers. That's not going to give them any trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not really getting any type of, you know, punishment for doing what they're doing. So they don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, like, there are good cops and there are bad cops. I've run into a few bad cops in my lifetime, and I know a lot of them that I'm friends with. You know, they really watch what they do and how they handle the situation. You know, they really they reassess and take a step back. You know, and some of them are, you know, African American, some are Asian. You know, and I've known these people for like for over 10 years of my life. You know, and they know what's going on in the news, and they can't really comment or really, you know, they can't really say too much except in their own homes, you know. But, you know, honestly, I think that what it also has to do with is also the people that know them, that support the bad habits that they do. Because, you know, if they see that and they're trying to sweep it under the rug, they're just as guilty as they are.
Right.
You know, that's how I feel about that. You know, and it's just so unfortunate because, like, it's like, you know, there are some good ones. As I said, there are some good ones and there are some bad ones. And it's unfortunate that sometimes those bad ones just like pop up, you know. I mean, okay, so just to go into another story that you said, about how, you know, a woman officer that's been an officer for a long time, she grabbed a gun instead of a taser.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, and to me, it's like, you know, they train you in the department to tell you, you put your less lethal weapon on your less strong side than your strong side. So if you're right-handed, you're going to not put the gun there, you're going to put the taser there. Okay? Or I've seen other officers, you know, get the belt that connects the taser to their thigh, you know, so that they can tell the difference, you know, or put the gun on the left side. So they have to kind of work for it, because they want you to use the least deadly force necessary, you know, or try to assess the situation, go hand to hand, then you go up and up and up, you know. But in this situation, it's like, I'm sorry to say this, like, how could you mistaken a yellow taser gun for a regular 9mm or whatever Glock, whatever gun you had, you know? And it's just, I really think that they need to reassess all the officers, get them more training, more in-depth training of how to handle certain situations, because it's falling back on them is what it's doing.
It's a never-ending story. It's very depressing times right now.
It really is.
You almost don't have any power other than protesting and trying to get, you know, the cops that will listen to see where we're coming from, but they don't care. So it's really hard to, you know, to handle the situation. I think that I'm tired of hearing the excuse, I didn't mean it. It was an accident. You know, I don't know. It goes back to saying, I said a long time ago that the people are as bad as the leader. So if you have bad leadership, the people are going to be bad.
Yeah.
And so you can tell that the chiefs and the people that's working with them, the head of, you know, whoever the state chief is or whatever, they're not caring. They're not putting down the rules. They're not saying, hey, you do this, you're fired. I mean, they need somebody that's like serious and like, hey, if you're racist, if, you know, this is not the job for you. If you kill someone just because they're black or they're brown or whatever the case, you're out of my department. I don't need people like that in my department. What are y'all teaching these officers? Because obviously because of how many times it's happening, they think it's okay. They're comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like at this point, it's so every time I turn around, I'm seeing it. It's like I hate having to talk about it. I hate having to retweet it. I hate having to post about it.
Yeah.
Because it just don't seem like it's changing. Like people walking their legs off and talking till their face turn a different color, and y'all still killing minorities. Like that's just what they want to do. Mm-hmm. It's just what they want to do. So it's like I don't know. Like I tell my sons all the time, like be careful. Like you don't want to tell them, like, I've never taught my kids to be scared of anybody.
Yeah.
Okay? But I just don't want them in that situation. So I just tell them, be respectful.
Yeah.
Never run if you didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not trying to be funny, but Black people got a problem with running. Don't even know why you running. And you see 3 other people running, now you running, and now the cops is, upside your head.
Yeah. No,
stop running if you ain't do nothing, officer. What are you arresting me for? I do understand my rights. People need to learn the proper verbiage when talking to police officers, because they're saying trigger words to a person that's already psychotic and want to kill you.
Yeah,
you saying you talking crap and stuff. A lot of the videos I've seen, you're resisting arrest. You in his face. Yeah. We know he wrong. We see it, but don't give him a reason to shoot you and act stupid and that excuse. Just pipe down and talk like you have sense, because they already think when they pull a Black person over, oh, they're ghetto. They don't have sense. So they're gonna. All I need is a trigger to make them pop off, and then I'm gonna shoot them.
Yeah.
That's why whenever I get pulled over, but I've never been afraid of cops. I guess it's because my family are either police cops, my uncles and my aunts were street cops, Louisiana. And it don't get no better than that. That's real crime. Mm-hmm. So I've been around cops my entire life. So I know how to talk to them and just, okay, sir, you got it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But everybody don't have that. People need to teach their kids how to talk to police, and police need to be fired on the spot. Forget because some of their records, like the what's his name, Derek Chauvin or whatever.
Yeah, Derek Chauvin. Yeah.
His case file was full of incidents, and you still continue to let him work for you. It has a lot to say. It says a lot about who was over him. Because they racist too. He should have been gone.
Yeah.
Lots of Black people have reported his ass.
I think that he should have been gone a long time ago, because then this situation would have never happened. And I think that those people should be accountable too, just as much as he is, knowing the situation of this man and his past record. And people are going to say, well, what about George Floyd? Well, what about George Floyd? He was going to have to answer for it anyways. But you let the justice system do it, not just one individual because he has a salty personality or his upbringing or whatever. But the matter of fact is that they need to redo this whole system, but it has to come from the top and it works its way down. Because if you don't hit the top, it's not going to work its way down. And as I said, I think that a lot of officers all of them should be retrained in a certain way, not to be racial profiling, and once you guys start having like 1 or 2 complaints against you and an internal revenue investigate, if they feel it, then if anything happens, then they should be held responsible, knowing what level you're working at, because they check you out. They really check you out. But the thing is that, when it comes, they should ask us on the lie detector test, if you are racist, do you have any ties to these things? Do you have hate towards these people? Like, those are the questions they need to ask, as a part of the hiring.
They don't care, though. That if you're racist, you're not caring if you're hiring 10 racist cops. You're not worried about that, Y'all probably have something to talk about at lunch. You're racist. No, I'm serious. I know it's
not. No, I get you. It's a sad thing. That's why I'm laughing, because it's the truth.
I mean, it's the ugly truth. But let's just be real. I mean, because if it were me And if I was a police chief, and they better hope I never decide to go ahead and take my criminal justice degree and do that, your ass start terrorizing the streets, I'm going to make you a desk clerk.
Right? Or even just...
You'll find his paperwork.
Yeah, it's just...
No, I'm serious, because these are street cops, so either they're stressed, maybe they're overworked, and they're taking their anger out on minorities.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
Yeah.
So y'all need to reevaluate not only the hiring process, but how many street cops do you guys have? Is it too many? Are there not enough? Yeah. I mean, what is going on? Because I know sometimes, girl, you know what I should have did? I wish I had this footage. I'm slipping on my pimping.
Oh, girl.
But they did the right thing. I was in traffic the other day with my kids.
Okay.
And there was, I didn't see the guy in the car, but I don't know what the hell happened, but a cop put his lights on, his sirens. And I said, here he go, trying to put on his siren to get through traffic. But that was not the case. He says, get out of the car immediately to this, to whoever driving this Charger. He says, get out with your hands up. Girl, all I know is everybody stopped and we didn't go when the light turned green. He took out his gun and had it drawn. I said, man, we are not about to do that. Not today. I do not want to see anybody get shot. The guy gets out of the car, the Charger. He's yelling. He's a Hispanic guy. These are Hispanic cops.
Oh.
He put his hands up so quick. I didn't even see his hands touch the door to open it up. He put my hands are up, please don't shoot. And they didn't shoot him. And then the other cop had his gun drawn at the passenger side. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And then we started, but we had filmed it just in case. We filmed it just in case, but they did the right thing.
That's good.
If a cop immediately, well, most times, if he's behind you and he says that, then maybe they did some burglary and they were reported that they had weapons. So they have to have their guns drawn. That's different. Yeah. But the other stuff, because with the George Floyd case, do you know during the trial, they could not produce that so-called fake $20 that got him his life taken from him? They couldn't find it.
Of course not. They couldn't find it because somebody was racially profiling him. That's all it comes down to. You know, oh, this person's up in my store, so guess what? I'm just going to call it because I'm suspicious. Maybe he took something, but I didn't witness it. Now, when it comes to that, like certain laws in California, certain states, if you don't witness somebody stealing it, and if you go up and stop the person, then you can get sued. You know, there's as soon as they pass, but you have to see it for your own eyes before you make the stop or whatever the case may be. You know, but I'm glad that they made a good choice and they handled it in a good way. And that's how more cops should be.
I was not prepared to see nothing crazy. I was like, man, not today. I just want to go take care of my business, man. Don't but
don't try to involve me.
Right. But I don't know. I'm tired. Lord, save us. That's all I can say. I don't know what else to do but to stay on my boys.
That's all we can do.
Stay on them and try to teach them the right way, because these cops they're not playing with you.
Yeah, and that brings me back to like the way how children should be. I mean, these teenagers should be, because now they're hitting that age where misery wants company, and they're gonna take you along, and you're gonna be around the wrong kind of people at the wrong time, and you can get caught up in that kind of friction. Like I know I messaged you about that situation with that Uber driver, on how those teenage girls 13 or 14 carjacked him, tasered him, took him for a little drive that ended up hitting a pole, which he was in the door, so the door slammed on him, and they turned and they crashed and they flipped over and he was dead on the sidewalk. And the one thing that stuck out to me, which upset me, was after these teenagers jumped out of the car, one of the girls ran back, "Oh, my phone." Yeah. And I'm like, you have a dead person right there on the floor, and you hear the guy on the camera say, "Oh, those are the girls. They carjacked him. You know, those are them." And you see the military people kind of like, "Hey, you guys are staying with us. You're not going anywhere."
Well, let me tell you something, sweetie. She's gonna be gone so long she will not remember a phone by the time she get out.
But here's the thing though, they're because of different laws in certain states, I think the police chief or the governor for the state said, well, we hope they don't give them just a slap on the wrist, because certain states, they don't exceed certain things. Like even if you kill somebody, once you go to like juvie or whatever, then you get released at the age of 18. You don't
Oh
have
yeah,
to.
yeah. I know for a fact that. Matter of fact, when I saw the story, I said they'll probably be held at a juvenile detention, and then when they're 18, time served and released.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times they feel like they're too young and they didn't know any better. But the family can press charges against, lawsuit against their family and make their life a living hell. And karma, you have to be careful. You have to be careful with what you do to people and how you treat people, because karma is definitely like a slow killer.
Oh, definitely. And that's why like even I looked up at their story before I got on the line with you, is that they said that these girls, one of them, she just went with her for the situation, but the oldest one, that was not her first rodeo. It was several. Yeah, she's done it a couple times before then, but she knows once you get the age of 18, then it gets erased.
But you know what, people like that get so comfortable with disobeying the law and doing grimy stuff that they'll do it again when your ass should know better, and now you're about to get some real time.
Yeah.
So they don't. I do believe that certain people just have it in their spirit to be repeat offenders, and they purposely do not learn because they want to go about life the criminal way.
Yeah.
So it's gonna come back around, and that would be that karma when she's sitting in that tank and like, wow, I did this at 25 and now I'm in here for life.
Yeah.
Because you can't, be a menace to society and nothing catches up. We've seen the hood movies. Does the bad guy ever survive? Or does he survive and not see all his family and friends killed? Okay, so it's gonna be a bad ending to a story like that. Period.
Yeah. It just kills me with everything, because it just like seems like week after week we keep hearing things and all this air and all this nature. And I think the one thing that scares me, as my son's autistic, and this is something I'm going to bring up now, is that because of my son being autistic, officers are not fully trained of how to handle that situation. Okay. I mean, what if, just to per se, as an example, this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But just to say, an imaginary son of mine, I had another son, just to say, I had another son who had autism. Okay. And he got violent. Okay, because they can't help the outbursts. They can't help their meltdowns, And just to say, if the police were called, said, oh, someone's fighting or screaming next door, we don't know what's going on. And just to say, that imaginary son grabs a knife and walks out, and the police tell him to, put the knife down, but he's not understanding because he's nonverbal. And they have to shoot him and killing my imaginary son. And that's what scares me the most. Is that, like, we don't know what their mentality thinking is. And I think, as I said, they need to seriously do retraining to make sure that things like that don't happen. Because there's a lot of cases like that for people with disabilities, autism, Asperger's. And I think that they need to do a whole new reform, as I said. Like, they need to do a whole reform of training, make sure they're not racial profiling, making sure they keep what they need to within the guidelines, and if they were to correct that, then things will go so much more better for everyone. And not only that, hear what the people have to say and give their opinions, and let the people hatch it out, and let them discuss what they have to do to continue to make everywhere a better place to live in, and not to live in fear, thinking, oh, well, they might shoot my son because he's autistic or has Asperger's or whatever, because I think they need, from what I understand, they're starting to train to learn to differentiate if they have a mental disability or not. And what I recently found out is that if they do get arrested, okay, just for having a meltdown, they go to jail. They don't take them to a hospital. They take them to jail. They book them, okay, and until like 24-hour hold, then they go through the whole, facility, psychiatric, and all that stuff. Right. And that's what scares me for my son's sake, because, you know, because you just don't know, and you don't know how people are going to react to that. You know, that's why I said there needs to be a change, you know, not just because of people with disabilities, but overall in general and everything. So we don't have to hear or see these stories because, you know, as you said, it's very overwhelming and very stressful for us, you know, but it's just, they got to, you know, President Biden, I hope you do something, because you need to reform a change. It needs to, like, he needs to implement something for the police departments, because it's getting worse and worse and worse each and every time.
It's definitely getting worse because, you know, a lot of people are starting to hate even. Okay, we are also forgetting that there are also good cops. Okay, so not like you have had cop friends. I have cop friends. I know cops, white, black, Hispanic. I know some cops because they was trying to get me to join the, you know, the academy. Seriously. And so I do know that there are good cops, right?
Yes, there are.
But you forget about that. Even the good ones that you know personally, you wonder sometimes, are you really like that too? Do you tell your coworker that's not cool? Like, it just make you question. So it's like the civilians are no longer trusting police officers.
Yeah.
And so they're starting to have hatred towards the ones that are even good.
That's true too.
We gotta build back trusting each other, because it's so bad. Like, now I'm understanding why some people is just like, I'm a mind my own business. I see somebody breaking into Jane Doe house over there, but if I call the cops, some shit gonna go down, so I'm not gonna even get involved in that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, girl.
After seeing,
I
mean, after the Chauvin, whatever his name is, you know, after what he did to George Floyd, his partner stood right there and watched it happen. His partner stood right there and watched it happen and didn't say anything, like, hey,
I saw that, the Asian cop.
I have so much anger. Okay, let me calm down, because let me tell you something. If you know something's wrong, you know, and you see your partner overdoing it, you should say, hey, dude, you know, he's, you know, he's done, you know, he's not moving, he doesn't have a weapon, we subdued him, okay, let's take him to the cop car. Not further push your knee up against him to where he can't breathe and calling out for his mama. You know, God rest his soul, you know, but if you are someone that's seeing something wrong, then you say something. You know, I mean, it was disheartening to see that. And then how people are saying, hey, tell your partner to get off of him. And he's just like, yeah, sure. You know, just mind your business. It's like,
he should have got in trouble too.
I think they should have both got the same sentencing, just saying, because for him to put his knee on there and you're supporting it, you're just as guilty as the one that's, you know, commencing it. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. But I mean, that's why you think even with the good cops, you kind of wonder, like, what do you do when you see your partner doing something like that? Like, what do you say? It just makes you wonder, because police officers have a brotherhood. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, you're wrong, but I don't want to be the outcast. So you're going along with it, right?
Yeah.
So while I was on my phone, I was looking for something while we're talking on the topic. And I'm sharing this from Trey, the Truth page. A 15-year-old girl got shot 4 times in Columbus, Ohio by this police officer. And he said it hasn't even been a full 24 hours. And y'all still already continuing with this. He needs to be next. It was in Ohio where a girl was getting jumped, or they were trying to jump her. And so she went inside of the house to get a knife or something to protect herself against these bullies. She called the cops to let the cops know, I'm being bullied. You know, girl, they got there, didn't ask no questions, allegedly, from what the story is being reported, and shot her 4 times. She's dead. 16-year-old black girl. And so I saw that after saying, yes, justice for George Floyd. Thank you, God. And then I saw that and was just like, every other day though. Like at this point, what am I supposed to do, and how am I supposed to feel? You know what I'm saying?
It's like mixed emotions because you don't know how to think or feel. The one thing I would love to see on film is seeing a partner standing up for what is right and not letting what something wrong continues on. You know, but as you said, maybe they're scared because they'll be pointed out, they'll be booted out, and I've seen things like that happen before. Hey, you don't have my back, I'm not gonna have yours.
It's a
You know.
brother and a sisterhood, just like with sororities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you ever saw those stories where they're hazing? And
Yeah.
you know they're taking it too far, but you're a sorority brother or sister, and you're just watching, like, and then the person dies, because there are lots of instances that happens, and that's just not even reported. But they still die from hazing, and you don't say anything because what's going to happen? The sorority is going to turn their back on you. He's not cool. She's not cool. She's a snitch. It's kind of like cop bullying too. They go through it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them are not gonna speak up when they see their partner doing something wrong. 9 minutes is a long time to kneel your knee on someone's neck, and your partner watched for 9 minutes and didn't shrug you off and say, "Hey man, what are you, crazy?
Mm-hmm.
You're on this guy's neck for 9 minutes, dude. Get off. What's wrong with you?" Not that's a long time.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
A simple shrug would have been like, maybe he ate dog food that day.
Mm-hmm.
And he was having a brain malfunction, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe a good shove by somebody would have made him like, oh shit, I'm tripping.
But he was so fixated on it.
Anything.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm going to be honest with you about something I never really told anybody before. I was applying and I was doing the whole field training tryout for a department I can't say. Mm-hmm. But there is this I was working security, and I worked side by side with a police department. And I went on with them with calls. I did arrests with them. Like, you know, it went down. And there was this one officer, not a police officer, regular security officer, that didn't seem right to me, right? And come to find out, he was harassing his ex-girlfriend, and there was a restraining order, and they actually contacted us on the job where I had my captain there, and he told me that, hey, I need to let this person go because we can't allow this in our department. You know, I'm like, okay. So then he went in there, and the dude just started throwing his belt on the chair and was screaming and yelling. I'm like, man, what if he stayed with us and did something wrong, and it tarnished our names? Now, 6 months later from that, I was taking the exam for the PD department, because I took like 3 or 4 of them, and the State Department, and I saw him there, and the look on his face looked at me was like that, and I'm like, okay. So when we had to turn a paperwork in, we had to go into one single room. And I told the officers, I was like, look, there's this dude in here who has a really bad temper. He violated a restraining order. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you want somebody like that representing you. You know, whether I make it or not, you don't want this person that has a bad anger problem, especially towards his authority, especially a captain and another police officer that was there seeing what was happening. You know, and I told him, I don't want to side your thing, but this is what you're going to have if you hire him. And to me, a lot of people would see different. If people are going to hate on me after this, that's fine. But you know what? I knew it was a wrong place for him, because he might really harm somebody or might kill somebody. You don't know. But for somebody that gives somebody attitude and throwing their belt and their handcuffs and everything all on a chair and screaming and yelling, you know, it could end up worse, you know. But that's what I saw as a sergeant at that time. And I let them know, like, hey, you know what? I worked with this individual, and I'm letting you know this is the type of behavior he has. And I would hate for something to happen. Right. And I felt good about myself because I could have saved somebody, or I could have done something that should not have happened with this person being on the force. You know, if that blew his chances, then you know what? As I said, he didn't belong on the force because of his bad anger problem. I couldn't believe it. He was like that in front of my captain and another officer, a regular PD officer. And to me, people may think I'm a rat for doing that, but you know what? I'm not no rat when it comes to preventing something like that on the force, and had that type of behavior even to his superiors, you know? So, you know, I felt good since that day. And since we talked about that subject, it brought it up for me. And, you know, I know I'm probably going to get an earful after this, but you know, it's okay. Because you know what, that person that was so mean and so angry, having that type of behavior should not be on the force. I'm sorry, but I know I did the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think that unfortunately, I think people know who they're hiring. You know, department heads are not ignorant people. They go to school and they are trained to sort out certain characteristics of what will make you a excellent police officer. So don't think for 1 minute that they don't know this guy is racist, or they don't know this guy has a mental issue or certain triggers, because you go through an intense training to be a police officer. You're put under hypnosis. So you're asked questions. What would you do in this situation? You're put to sleep on purpose so they can find out the real you. That means that there's a lot of people telling the real them, and they're still being passed on because of the significant need for street cops. You know, I mean, I don't know. We just taking it for face value, but it's just,
we could go on for days. Basically, that's how
I'm kind of looking up and seeing it. Like, I don't want to read about this no more, y'all. Like, I don't get it. I don't know.
I just think that, as I said, I really hope that when you do that interview with that activist that you talked about, I really hope it does ring bells for people, because you're doing good things out of goodness to help people, and maybe it might make a change. One person can make a change if they really wanted to, you know. And for all these victims that are going through all this, and families, you know, my prayers and thoughts go out you all. And I really hope that they start really doing a change, because until they start doing this change within departments, within themselves, nothing's going to change. And if they're against it, then there's something seriously wrong, because they know they might be the ones getting the boot, I guess, you know. But I mean, what can we say? What can we do?
Girl, become a judge.
Girl,
my mom tells me all the time, girl, you should be a judge. You would be a good, but I would be very strict, and that's my
Judge Judy.
No, she, you know what? You gotta warn me, Callie, before you get to this. I know you don't know any better, but I strongly dislike that little lady.
Oh, you did? Oh,
I don't like her for shit. I think she is rude. I think that, I mean, first off, Judy, what you're not gonna do, boo, is talk to me crazy, because Lori Atwood don't even talk to me crazy like that. The way you disrespect people that come in there that's trying to tell their story and talk over them, I've never like that. I'm more of like a Judge Mathis.
Oh, I love Judge Mathis.
I'm gonna give you advice. I might even the first time I see you say, hey, you know, talk to you. But when I start seeing you the second, third, and fourth time, you about to get a strong sentence, because you're not learning your lesson. And I'm a lesson person. If I had to learn my tough lessons in life and get whooped by life in my lessons, I will expect the same from my people. I'm talking all people, you know. I'm not gonna be lenient for, you know, 2-time, 3-time, 4-time offenders. I'm just not. Yeah. So, but I just think, like, you know.
Okay, I'll retract what I said about be like Judge Mathis. I love Judge Mathis.
Judge Mathis I can do, but that little thing, girl. I do not. I can't even hold it back. I have never liked her. I don't. I used to get so mad.
Mm-hmm. I just love how it's just like, she's mean. And I'm just like laughing. I was like, damn, if I ever had somebody like that at me, oh, heck no.
Girl, I would have got escorted out of that courtroom. And I don't have a problem with respecting the law. Mm-hmm. But you gotta be respectful too in your own life. That she just straight disrespectful. But she's been on TV for a decade, so they love it.
They gotta love something, but some people gotta love something, some people gotta hate something. But as I said, I retract that, and Judge Mathis. So I love Judge Mathis.
Yes, that's probably one of my favorite. Judges, other than the divorce court judges. Oh. Girl, I be tweeting them online, girl. They be talking to me back. I be tweeting like, girl, she did what? I love all that, but you know, it's cool to have a good laugh, you know, in the midst of all the madness. Something got to change, and I feel like you said, with more people coming together and more. What I saw today, I saw Black people, I saw white people, I saw Hispanic people, and the guy who drew George Floyd and does the paintings there, he was there. He's a Hispanic guy that's extremely talented. And he was so hurt and overwhelmed because he's like, when they do this, it's very expensive for me to paint these beautiful art drawings. And then when they mess them up, I have to come back out here. And so the new chief of police, Officer T. Feener, he was talking about peace, and he brought the artist up and gave him a special shout out.
Oh, that's right on.
Because he been drawing Pimp C and everybody, and then somebody else was like, they want Megan Thee Stallion drawn, but I was like, this is not the time to ask that man that.
Yeah,
stay on topic. Stay on topic now. We talking about something else, like. But he draws everybody. He's really, really good. So awesome. Yeah, it's really it was really cool seeing the painter, the artist, because I had never met him before, and so hopefully they install. I say install a camera.
I say so too. I mean,
install a camera.
Let me tell you something. In the UK and all those other countries, they have cameras, and they have. I don't know if you've seen it caught on camera, but if you look over there, they hardly have any crimes as bad as we do. And if they were to do that here, that would eliminate so much. But people would say, well, it's evasion of this and that, and then you get a whole nother smorgasbord. But I do hope they put up cameras, like even face recognition cameras would even work as just as good.
Yeah, we suggested it, like, put up a camera, whoever owns the building, because someone owns it. I forgot who it is. They do a lot of events in the city. Mm-hmm. Install a camera, and then let people get busted, or at least maybe insinuate, put up a sign that says we're watching you. They don't know if there's a camera around here. Exactly. Play with it.
Yeah, that I tell you, when they see cameras, you see them looking, and that's how you know when they're kind of guilty, when they're looking for them cameras, because then they get kind of smart a little bit. But I'm really glad you got to meet that amazing artist, because I saw that and I was like, that's so beautiful. But when I saw what was posted on there, I was just like, are you serious? Like, I even got angry. I actually went to go tell my fiance, I was like, look at this. And he goes, are you serious? I was like, yeah. He goes, like, because he's so like done with it too, of hearing and seeing all these things on the news. It's like, when can we find peace? When can we actually just, it's just starting off, it's not as bad as last year with the whole COVID thing, but now we're dealing with this whole, race. And I think that we all need just to come together. Just like, that's it. Just, we all need to come together, move forward, and make changes. That's the only way we can get through this.
Well, I'm definitely seeing a lot of people in Houston do it. And I appreciate that. The activists and the people that's come out and made knowledge. Greg Abbott, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. And that's the shit that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with our higher officials.
Yeah.
So you're not wanting to pass a bill with George Floyd's name attached to it. It's setting some type of racist standard to people that see this. And so what do you think you're doing? You're brewing more hate.
Exactly.
Because they know you have to be racist to not want to sign the bill just because it's attached to George Floyd's name. I mean, people do bills all the time.
Yeah.
What is so different? Because you're one of those Texans that's racist, the good old boy system. It's just a redneck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Girl, I gotta control myself. But that's what I call them out here when we get doing that as rednecks. Because you know that old Southern mentality, slavery mentality, and we're not in that decade, we're not in that generation. You gotta get over that, you know? I want him out. I want Ted Cruz out. I want all of those guys out. We need a facelift when it comes to our government system. Yes, we got, oh boy, I don't even want to mention his name, but we got him out and we got Biden, okay? And we dealing with that. We know it's not peaches and cream. Change takes a long time.
It does.
But we're starting somewhere, but we got to get all the bad seeds out for this to work. And that's just what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
If you got one, it's going to, if you have one, it will spoil, one bad apple will spoil the entire batch of apples. And if you have one bad person in the White House or on the Senate and Congress, guess what? It's gonna trickle down. It's gonna. The hate will never end. And I'm not saying we're gonna stay. I'm not saying everything's gonna be perfect. Mm-hmm. It's not. We don't live in that society, unfortunately, where things are gonna be perfect. Stuff is gonna happen, but it's happening way too much. I think we all can agree to that. Even the people that's racist, this is happening all the time.
Yeah.
Like clockwork. Like what next?
Exactly. I'm just like kind of like looking at my phone like every other like hour saying what else is there going to be on the news about? What is the story going to be? You know, but as you said, I really hope that they do make change and you can help be a part of that change because, you know, you just have to have the voice. And then once you show people, once their strengths are in numbers, then what can they do? That's what the doctor and activist said today. What you just said. Strength in numbers.
Yes, it's definitely strength in numbers, and that's confirmation when you hear it more than once. Mm-hmm. You know, more than once. So that's real. Did you have any other topics, girl? We should, you know what?
I do have other topics. You know me, I love to spill my tea when it's nice and hot. So
yeah, okay, I want some tea, girl. Like, what you gotta spill?
Okay. Okay, so before I get into my juicy stuff, I did want to talk about, because of course, you know, Autism Awareness Month, you know, and my son's autistic. I just want to let the people know, okay, that they have more resources than they don't know that they have. So basically you have to be your own child's advocate. I really encourage everybody when they have IEP section, make sure you have an advocate, kind of like an attorney or lawyer when you go to the IEP meetings. Because they will catch things that they see on paper that shouldn't be what should be on there, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So they're trying to suggest something, and that's not meeting the needs of the child. Also, your health insurance, whatever health insurance you guys have, no matter what the disability, they have to provide services, occupational therapy, speech therapy outside of school. So it's basically the doctors that are adding extra to it. Now, the only way you can get that is when you file a grievance through insurance companies. The doctors are not even able to mention it to you. That's the sad thing. They are kind of gag ordered on this. And not many people know that. I had to find out, excuse me, in my own way, being an advocate for my son. So when you file the grievance through the insurance company, they have to provide you with speech therapy, and also physical therapy to help them. They could do in-home services, or they can do outside services. They're all options. Now, the next thing, excuse me, I have a real tickle in my throat, is the next thing you have to do is once you get that ball rolling, then you have to make sure that the school provides extras. The county has to provide extra services. So there's extra on top of that. But you be careful with the county, because if you don't be careful with the county, they could say that you came to an agreement and sign off on it and don't give you the services.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna straight out say it, because you know what, damn straight, I'm gonna say it. So San Andreas Regional Center here in San Jose, California. Okay, you people should not be signing paperwork and say I'm getting services when you're not, and stop juking people. Okay, because they're supposed to give services to my son. They're supposed to give like equestrian services for my son. They were supposed to provide extra services upon extra services, and I signed off and I never got one. And they covered up the paperwork. So yes, I'm ratting you all out because it is facts. Hashtag facts, okay? And damn straight. And on top of that, the next, they do it yearly. So the next year they try to give me the paper. I was like, give it to me first and I will sign the paper. But until then, I'm not signing it until I see it right here in front of me. And that's exactly what I did. So people don't know they have these rights for their kids, you know, but you do. And there's advocates that will actually sue the school district, and the school district has to pay the attorney money, which I did. But unfortunately, I can't disclose too much of the case because I have a gag order on me. But I was able to get the best schooling for my son. I was able to get the best stuff for my son in every way, shape, or form.
Nice.
But it might be pricey, but it will protect not only you, but your child when they get older and later on in life. So I really hope that people take heed to that. So they know what they have coming to their child, and not to be scared to speak up to the doctors, because they're not going to say a thing to you. That's why you got to file. It's called a grievance. And after that, then you're set, and they take you to facility, or they'll be brought to your home, whatever's comfortable for your child, and they'll give it to them for as long as they live. And also, you can file Social Security for your child.
Okay.
And I tried doing that, but they blocked me, saying he's not the age of 18. I was like, do you not know how expensive it is to have therapy for my child that is on disability? So right now we're working on an attorney so we can sue that and get my son what he needs now. So
I pray that I'm sure that it will work out.
I'm sure it will. As you said, karma. All these people don't want these children and all these babies to have services, and they try to hide it, and that's just a shame. And I'm hoping I blow the top off a little bit so that way people can start filing and get what their child solely deserves.
Yes, absolutely.
No. Nothing like that should be kept under wraps.
No,
never.
I totally agree with you.
Okay, so you want some tea? Some nice boiling tea?
Serve it to me, honey.
Okay, so I know my fiance is going to tell me something about this because he doesn't want me to bring it up, but I'm bringing it up anyways. So, do you remember that little ball I had in my room not long ago?
Oh, yeah.
It escalated. I have to get my house blessed. It's crazy.
I told you to.
I know. No, but after that ball, right? Like the following week, I think I told you this, but I haven't told your viewers yet. But the following week, I was walking around my house in the dark. Did I tell you this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was walking into the kitchen from my room, and it was dark, and it's like normal. I'm like, hey, I'm walking in the dark. And suddenly, I swear to God, I swear over my grandpa's grave that's been in his grave before I was born, everything, my whole family, everything. I heard a whisper in my ear, and it was a man's voice. Girl, you know in scary movies when somebody gets so scared they run into the wall? I literally ran into the wall because I was like trying to get away from it, and I crashed into the heating unit. Full throttle.
So that's not your friend.
All I know is that I heard a man whisper my voice, and I was done.
Your friend was a lady.
I thought no, it's a man.
No, your friend that passed away was a lady.
It was a lady, so I don't know who this.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, I really thought it was her.
You don't do the Ouija board things and stuff, right?
Hell no.
Yeah, because I wouldn't suggest doing that.
My mom would disown me.
Yeah, my mom don't play with that. She got mad when I went and saw a psychic.
Oh man, I mean, like psychic's one thing, but when you do that Ouija board, you're just totally opening a doorway for something even more worse.
I don't even play. Yeah, I don't even play with that. I just went to get my palms read years ago.
That's bad juju.
It is.
It's
I don't know who that entity is. I mean, I'm almost scared to ask it to show himself. Like, who are you? You know, people do that.
I didn't want to. I just told, hey, you know what? You're dead. Move forward. You're not welcome anymore. In the name of the Father and Jesus Christ, get out of my house. It's been quiet until yesterday.
What did the voice sound like?
It sounded like he was mumbling. Like he goes, but it was right here. I could feel it, like how cold it was. It was right in my ear. It was like right here. It wasn't like right here. Oh, sorry. Can you see? Oh yeah. It wasn't like right here. It was like right here, like right in there.
Let me tell you something. I need to fly my mama. I'm like, no. When we had a ghost story. My mama do not play. Like, real talk. She from Fifth Ward. We had a ghost situation, and she used to be a pastor, a preacher, like for real, had her own church. Yeah. I grew up as a preacher's kid, like for real, in real life. Mm-hmm. And so I told my mama what was going on, and she came, and she prayed, but she was no joke. And she don't get scared like that. Mm-hmm. She'd be like, and we did not have that issue anymore. Mm-hmm. We did not have that issue anymore. I mean, because at this point, it almost sounds like something.
That's not the worst of it.
You got to remember, you got to kind of find out what you had been doing days before you just started seeing this weird stuff. Did you read a weird passage? Did you?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
It's been normal for me.
They do say spirits just stroll through sometimes. The ones that don't go back to the light.
That's what I did.
Maybe he's lost.
I don't know, but he sure likes to make his presence known, especially yesterday, what happened to me. Again.
Your husband, is he saying any of this?
He just witnessed, he witnessed a lot of it yesterday morning. We both did in different rooms at the same time. So I got up to use the restroom because I felt restless, and my fiance stood in the bed. This just happened yesterday, okay? And when I was using the restroom, my cat usually just comes up, like when I sit on the bathroom, do my business. My kitten, or my cat, always comes up, and the one you've seen on the show, from
right.
Friday Night Crew. She always comes up and rubs her body against me and puts her paw on me, like being cutesy. As soon as I get in there, I sit down. She just looks at me, and her hackles are up, like her fur's up, like she was scared. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? I mean, you have your food, you're happy, you have your house. Like, what's wrong with you? Because she never acts like that with me, ever. So I'm just kind of sitting there looking at her, and her eyes are like olives, right? And I'm just like, so I just kind of sit there, and all of a sudden, this thing that I have on the side of the toilet moved, and it slid across the floor, and I was just like,
whoa.
I literally, I get goosebumps when I talk about it. Like, it literally moved. I heard it, and I seen that it did move, because I have OCD, and I put things a certain way. I have to. And when I realized it was not there at that spot, it was moved to somewhere else, and I freaked out. Now, the same time when that was happening to me, my fiance was in the room, okay? And he heard footsteps leading over to my vanity mirror right here, which I cover, because you don't see the light or anything. And in there, I have necklaces. So he heard the footsteps walk over and touch my necklaces, and it's making the little ringing noises. Like, you know, when you touch with some jewelry that's hanging up, you hear it hitting. That's what he heard at the same time when I was in the restroom.
So is it multiple ghosts?
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's more than just one. I think there's two.
Have you had any new people in your house?
Not since COVID hit. Nobody's been here. Yeah. And I didn't know that happened to him, and he didn't know what happened to me in the restroom. And I came into the room, and he scared me, you know, because he didn't know what happened to me. And he saw how badly I jumped and how my eyes were watery. He goes, "What's wrong?" So I lay back in bed and I told him what happened. And that's when he told me what happened with my mirror set. And I started to cry. You know, I'm never really a big crier, and you know I'm not, you know, except when I'm really emotional about something. But to me, that was just like, something has to be done. So, you know, it's just like, I think there's two. I don't think there's just one, but I know one of them is a man for sure. For sure. For sure.
I would at this point get like a pastor to pray over your house, like you said, and then and just pray to God yourself, because I don't know, like I just, you know, I don't know why they're, you know, all of a sudden I'm big on like, what did I do? Who did I have in my house recently? You know,
yeah,
you never know. It's just weird. New clothes given to you by someone?
No.
Because I remember when it started happening to us, this was so many years ago, but my brother had brought in a blanket and we never paid attention to the blanket. And one day I'm washing clothes and I'm just like, ew, this is so disgusting. It looked like it was like blood or ketchup or something. I was like, this is gross.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to wash it. I was like, I'm throwing this away. And he's like days went by and weeks went by, and then one day he's like, "Where's my blanket?" But by then, nothing was happening after that blanket was thrown away.
Yeah.
So we thought maybe like, and I asked him, "Where did you get that blanket from a couple of weeks ago?" And he was like, "I don't know." I said, well, "You just bringing stuff in my house, and you don't really know where you getting it from." Like, I do believe that spirits attach themselves to things. I
do too.
I don't play like that. Like, girl,
I be careful, like, with what I receive and what I do, you know, but like, we've been here for almost like 4 years, and nothing like this has happened ever until that orb showed up. Like, nothing's happened. And it's unbelievable. I know people are skeptic. You may want to believe it. Oh, she just wants to. No, like, if you need to see the orb video, because ever since that orb video, it's like, get out of my house, you know, like, leave me alone, you know. So,
but there's good, there's real bad.
Better not be bad, because
no, you gotta. I tell people like that don't believe, like, oh, you know, that's not true. You gotta believe in angels, and then you gotta believe in demonic spirits, because it's good and there's bad.
Yeah,
there's good and there's evil. It's just the Bible even says it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just keep praying and
buy myself some holy water. What I'm about to do is spray it around my house. Is what I'm about to do.
I keep some holy water. My mom actually gave it to me, so and yeah, but I ain't had no issues here. Like, since that last situation a few years ago, and my mom prayed, and then we got out the house. I hadn't had no issue, but I'm not gonna lie. I had the girl that I was cool with. Cousin was a witch doctor in New Orleans.
Oh.
And she would come back with these ointments that the lady out there would make. And I'm not gonna lie, I was letting her put them on me. And I thought, honestly, at the time, I thought, oh, you know, this is so silly, this is corny. You know, the stuff that you're doing, you're putting on me, this oil ain't gonna do nothing. And girl, like, it would be like one of the oils was to make guys like goo crazy for you, right? And I was being stuck up, like, girl, that already happens. So how do I know that this shit is working? Because I already have good charm like that. My husband probably like, oh yeah, it's the truth though. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I ain't lying. But anyway, so she was like, no, it's gonna happen like in like crazy ways. And I was like, whatever. So that night she put the ointment on me. Mm-hmm. And we went out to the club, and I am not gonna lie, we would walk through a crowd and guys was just crazy. I called my mom because I saw a guy leave the girl that he was talking to in front of her face to buy us drinks. Then that same night, we told some guys, you know, we don't talk to guys from the club or whatever, but you know, nice to meet you or whatever. Yeah. They followed us home. They were like, hey, what are you wearing? We can't get enough of it. We found your scent all the way down the street. Girl. And I said, you know what? You keep that shit away from me. I don't want men like, oh, that's not even flattering. That's crazy.
No, that's a little too much, you know.
But she used to have like literally, she had a money scent. She had money sprays, like voodoo money sprays, girl. It was crazy. Yeah. So my mom told me, she said, you need to stop letting her do that and put that on you and play around like that. Mm-hmm. Because not too long after that, that's when we had the real thing happen. And that was terrifying. Again, something that I seriously hate that my kids witness.
I did go through that, yeah.
Because I was just like, whoa. Like then when I realized how sick, because you're letting some entities in.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be careful with that. But look, we have been on here for an hour and 16 minutes. I want to just stay talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel ya.
But we will do this again really, really soon. Let me see. I think we have like maybe a week left in
April.
Yeah, in April. So
yeah,
if we don't follow up this month, we'll definitely do something early May, and hopefully we'll be talking about something.
Yeah.
Not someone got killed or something like that.
Yeah, so something like funny, you know, or happy, you know, like
yeah.
We didn't even talk about that fake money at that strip joint.
Girl, you know what? When I posted it, I was like, if this happened, Usher, because we love Usher, okay? Yeah. We don't want to hear bad stories about Usher. So I had to find, when you told me that, and then I went to investigate, I was happy that my boy wasn't going out like that, because I'm like, come on now, bro.
Yeah.
I don't expect Usher. Maybe from Chris Brown, but not Usher.
Yeah, right. No, because once I saw you post it, I was like, should I tell her? I was like, I better tell her.
No. I'm glad that you told me, because I was talking to a verified YouTuber, like a celebrity YouTuber. And he even told me that, like, I asked him, what do you do when you report a story and the celebrity, like, you don't do a follow-up or update and it didn't happen that way? Mm-hmm. He's been threatened. So sometimes, like, it's important. That's why on my show, since I've started doing my ear to the streets, I'm always like, allegedly, like even the new show that I'm on,
yeah,
says I'm gonna get a dinger every time you say allegedly, because I don't want to be throwing rumors out there and that ain't happening. Yeah. I meet these people, or I want to do a song with them one day, and they like, nah, remember on your show episode such and such. Allegedly. I'm the queen of alleged, okay?
I know, no, that's also, I was like, I better let her know this right now, because at first I was like, there's no way. And then when I started following up on it, because the best way I find out the correct news is TMZ. That's how I know TMZ. Harvey Levin, you know? But that's how I found out that the story was broke out. And then that's when later they posted the fact of how it was a prank, not from Usher, but his friends. And that's all. I saw you post. I was like, I better tell her that right away.
They gotta get better though. TMZ be reporting, I'm not even dead yet, and they gonna report you dead.
Right?
I ain't dead yet, bro. I'm still kicking. You know why? Why are you doing this? Like, they have no soul over there. But it is what it is. You know,
yeah.
No shade, TMZ, but yeah, Glad that you told me about that. It was still fun to report because I had people chopping him up. Oh yeah, Usher, you tried for. Oh yeah,
I
you.
saw that.
Oh yeah, that's how you do the scrippers. That's how you do the scrippers, Usher.
I saw that. I was like, oh my god, if she. I told her
And I'm so retarded. I will tag. When I say something about you, I tag. Hey, I don't know if this is true. If you did this, that's messed up. I tag you, so you gonna know that I was saying something. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather me tag you than somebody else. That's why I gotta make sure I do an update. But you know,
it happens. You know, everybody. That's why I always said that supposedly. Like we always have to, you know, say supposedly because you know, like you said, allegedly. You know, and it's just sometimes, you know, not everything comes out, and then later, oh, this is what really happens, and that grows their ratings all the way up to make them look good. But that's just facts because they just want to look good, you know, to get more story in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. They, you know, but I don't like hurting people to get a story out. I'm big on that. And then a lot of the celebrities that I have interviewed, blessed to interview, the first thing they said was, "Send me over the questions before I agree," because they're so sick of people twisting what they say for just to get a story. So I have respect in the streets because I don't. Even if I report it, I'll do an update. But this didn't really happen, or later on found this out because you know people be watching, so you got to be careful.
Yeah,
people don't care. I'm not verified either. I'm sure if I was just reporting anything and being reckless, I would probably be verified. But that's serious to me, you know.
Yeah,
not like that. Well, people. I hate to say goodbye to Callie. I really do. That's my girl.
You.
I love you too, girl. We have a really good time. She's awesome. She's amazing. Talk about your makeup real quick and let people know. Or do you have a giveaway coming soon or another tutorial?
Yes. So I do have another makeup giveaway coming. It's going to be worth $267 worth. And all you have to do, I know, and it's great stuff. I'll be posting it on my BBG account, which I put on there. It shows b.b.g. .61016. You follow that, and it'll show you the prizes you can win. I'll be doing minimal tutorials because I'm gonna start posting on my makeup profile on there, so that way people can see, and if they want that certain style, I can do it. So,
that is awesome.
Because I tried a piece of paper and it doesn't work on paper. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm not very pleased about it. So now I've been taking pictures, posted on Instagram, and I'm going to print them out and put it in a binder so people can look at different kind of, you know, collabs that I do. But
nice.
Starting to do hashtag now today, thanks to you. I did hashtag
awesome today. Yes. Well, y'all, when she posts, I'll promote and let you guys know to tune in. She's amazing at makeup. So, yeah, most definitely. And you need to keep in contact with the blogger that the YouTube celebrity guy that I interviewed, because when his project started for his reality TV, he was really interested in you.
Yes, I would definitely hit him up.
Yeah, so that would be a good look. And get your money on, girl. Collect them coins.
I will.
Okay. And thank you, April, for tuning in and for always supporting when you can. I really and truly appreciate you. Thank you, Corey, for tuning in. There were some people that tuned in, but I didn't catch a name. So if you're out there in the world, I'm being so dramatic right now because I'm also an actress. I just want to say thank you so much for supporting the Miss Blue Radio Show and my co-host, Callie.
And I love you. Mi amor. Me encanta.
I wish I knew Spanish. Now you're showing off. Now you're showing off, Callie.
Te amo, mi hermana. I love you, my sister.
Learn Spanish, y'all. I'm so angry at myself for not learning Spanish. I just didn't have it in me, girl.
Well, you got to realize I speak Spanglish. I don't speak it fluently, but I speak some of it and I understand some of it. So,
well, at least you do, because I tried. I really tried, but my Spanish teacher kicked me out the second semester and hurt my feelings. But I didn't take it serious. I don't take things serious. Sometimes the two is time to take them serious. I've always been like that, which is not good. But she said the first semester she was going to baby us and learn everything you can, because second semester she's only talking to us in Spanish. So the first day of the second semester, when I came through the door, she said something in Spanish. I had no idea what she was talking about. And I was like, how you doing? And she was like, oh, it's a joke to you? But she said it in Spanish. And I'm just like, no, I mean, what are you saying? And she's just like, oh, you know, she's telling me in Spanish, you're disrespecting me and my culture. I'm just like, well, what's going on?
Yeah, that would have been like,
they kicked me out, girl, and put me in arts and craft. And I can't scope nothing. I don't know how to scope nothing, okay? So yeah, that's my whole Spanish, and it hurt my feelings. So, but I'm proud of my one son who's actually mixed with Spanish. He's really good, and his Spanish teachers love him.
Well, if you needed private lessons, you know, I'll give them to you. You know, you're my big sis. If you need to learn,
I need to tell him because now he's in Spanish too, and it's getting harder.
Yeah, that
you're gonna stick in there. You're not about to give up because you came too far. You're gonna learn it.
Mm-hmm. Different dialects like that gets harder.
Yeah, that's what he said. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, oh, April said I can order food only, and girl, talking about bad words. My Spanish friends taught me all the bad shit. They had me smiling, girls telling me cuss words at the time, and I didn't know what I was saying. And I'm smiling, telling you something in the cuss word. They telling me go to the principal and say such and such and such and such in Spanish. And like a fool, I'm in the 6th grade and I'm doing it, and they're like, "Come with me to the office." And my friends laughing my Spanish. I'm like, "Whoa, what did I say?" They're like, I go and I'm just like listening to what the man said. I said, and I'm just like, ooh. I did not know that I said, I said that. I said that.
Girl, that's why you got to be careful what you say in different languages, because somebody could really screw you over big time.
Girl, you know what? I used to keep in contact with my friend Adrian, who had taught me that bad stuff. When we were older, we had grew up, and we got in contact with each other. She told me about it. She was like, no one knew that your silly ass was going to go running back telling people what we taught you in Spanish and didn't even ask us what we were telling you. You know you were telling me something bad.
I would have loved
Oh, you know what? I got a good episode. So since we were talking about saying good things, funny things, and not so much of like the killing and stuff, how about at the beginning of May, we talk about our not our lifespan, but like the hardest grade in school for you. What was we're going to talk about the hardest grade in school for you. Why was it the hardest grade in school? Favorite principles, things that your teacher told you that you'll never forget that was good. Mm-hmm. Like, let's just, let's have a really funny, crazy, and take it back to our childhood. I think that would be fun.
Down trip memory lane, here we go.
Wait, what's that song? Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But I don't ever wish I was a kid again, though.
Oh, no, I don't either.
I love being an adult. I'm not going to say I didn't like being a kid, but all I'm going to say is I was never good with being told what to do. My parents will tell you, I got in trouble so much. Because I always wanted to like tell you how I felt about something. Mm-hmm. And they was like, be quiet. You're a kid. Nobody cares. I care about how I feel, and I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, you don't want to. Oh, man. Do I have some stories to tell
April, look, we can make this fun in April. If you want to jump on this in May, I can do it where you join too, and we can talk about good, funny topics and just like have a really like a throwback show.
I think we should. Because
I want to hear y'all stories.
Oh, I know some stories about April. Trust me.
Hey. Well, we're going to do that. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned to the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you catch me Friday at New Earth Radio, KNER, with my boy Tyrone, Carl Thomas. It goes down, you guys. Like I got some new topics that I'm discussing, and we're going to be talking about workplace bullying. Yes. So, and I have someone that's going to come in and tell their story of what just happened to them. So y'all stay tuned this coming up Friday. And thank you so much, Callie.
Of course.
Thank you, Callie. In April, yes, next month, you're going to be on here. We're going to all be talking. So get ready for that.
Yes. Love you.
All right, girl. Love you too.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.